always pushed people to do. Any and all training available, go to it and go to it over and over again. And I'll tell you why. Because I know a lot of you want this to work for you. You really do. You would love to be an RVP. And I know some of you wonder if you're going to be able to do it. And I will tell you this, that if you interview all the RVPs and SVPs and the top people, you'll find out that most of them would have hit that top success probably in half the time with twice the momentum if they would have just done the right things from day one. And I will tell you that every one of us in this room, you know, you come here, you learn simple things. You learn things like keep it simple. You know, you learn things about the way you think is going to be the ultimate result. Well, I want you to know that we are our own worst enemy. And that when you hear what to do up here, you got to relax, have fun, and just do what the leaders are telling you to do. Be very, very coachable. Now, everyone heard that before. Be coachable. But the funny thing is, I want to tell you a fact. Every one of you, by the way, how many of you heard that it's very important to be coachable? Have you heard that before? Yeah. Okay, and just do me a favor, raise your hand if you feel like you are coachable. Raise your hand. Okay, good. So do you guys all promise you'll be coachable? Okay, let me tell you the truth. Because if we know the truth, well, relax. The truth is that every one of you are going to go against everything we say in every area of the business. That's the truth. And the reason why you're going to do it is not because, you know, you think the person's wrong. It's just for some reason, human nature is we love to learn the hard way. I don't know what's wrong with us. We almost like pain or something. Now, have any of you, and just answer, try to be honest, have any of you in this room ever been given really good advice and you did not take it and you, looking back, wish you did? Yes or no? Okay, and then what do you learn? You know, hindsight's 20/20. I should have did this, I should have done that. Well, I want to tell you, be coachable. Because if any of you do the things you're not supposed to do, please don't quit. Don't beat yourself up. Don't blame anybody. Just come back and start doing the things that you're supposed to be doing. Because what you're going to find out, when you become an RVP and SVP and you look back in time, you're going to find out that this business was 100 times easier than you ever thought it was. And that all we ever do is we find a way to make it hard on ourselves. It's so easy, when you look back in time, it's going to embarrass you. And what I mean by that is we do two things here. We do two things. We get customers, and we get customer getters. Okay, that's all we do. Now, with that being said, how many of you agree that you are all going to be your first set of customers?
Yes.
Yes? Okay. So, would you say that's fairly easy? Okay. And so the good news is you're going to be your first set of customers. And the better news is the additional customers you get, there's no pressure. You know, we want everyone in this room to have no less than 40 and 50 customers. But there's no pressure. You don't have to do it tomorrow. You have time to get your 40 and 50 customers. Okay, so customer acquisition, if you look at it that way, is very easy. But recruiting is even 100 times easier than getting customers. And I'll tell you why. And I know after I'm done up here, you're going to get a good recruiting training. But I'll tell you why recruiting is easy. Because every person you know, you walk by, you approach. Everybody that you meet tomorrow, the next day, all the random people, you know, every one of them are already going to be interested or not interested in ACN. It has nothing to do with you at all. That means before you even open your mouth, that the people that you come across are already a red apple, a green apple, or a brown apple. It has nothing to do with you. How great would it be if every person you walked by, saw, knew, worked with had a pin on their shirt, and the pin was a red apple, green apple, or brown apple? Now, if you already knew if someone was going to be a red apple, how many of you would most likely approach that person knowing for a fact they're going to say yes? If you were walking by someone and they had a little pin on their shirt and it was a brown apple, so you already knew reject the ACN opportunity before you ever approach them. If they had a brown apple, how many would say, I'll skip that person? Okay, now, be real here. If everybody already had the pin on their shirt, so you already knew what the answer was, how many of you would recruit 10 times more people because you already knew who was going to say yes, who was going to say maybe, who was going to say no? How many of you would do it? Okay? You wouldn't even think about it. Because the only thing that slows you down is you're thinking about it. Gee, I wonder if that person will like ACN. Gee, I wonder if they're going to reject me or accept the opportunity. That's the only thing that slows people down. Well, here's the good news. When you hear the recruiting training you're going to hear today, if you don't complicate it in your mind, you know, the reality is having that pin on people's shirts would be good. You agree with that, yes or no? But here's the reality. People are not wearing the pin. But just because they're not wearing the pin doesn't mean they're not already what they are. They're a red, green, or brown apple. So when you hear the recruiting training you're going to hear today, here's how simple it is. You're going to be taught to pique people's interest. And when you pique someone's interest, that's only asking one simple question. One simple question that takes less than 10 seconds. And the question goes something like, hey, are you open to making some extra money? Period, or a question mark, quiet. Okay? When you ask that question, the answer that comes out of their mouth is as good as wearing the pin on their shirt. Hey, are you open to making some extra money? What's the red apple gonna say? Yes. Boom, they're wearing the red pin. If you say, you open to making some extra money, and they say, I don't know, maybe, I'm not sure, what are they? Green. Green. The pin was just exposed. If you said, are you open to making some extra money, and they had a bad attitude at all, or just said, listen, I can't do it, I'm too busy, no, what are they? Boom, the pin's already exposed. So do you realize recruiting is so easy, because all you have to do is know that you are not a salesperson. We are not here to persuade people or convince people. We are here to sort for people who are interested in doing what we do, that want to do what we do. And if you just look at yourself as a sorter and a promoter, recruiting is so easy that there's no reason any of you can't recruit 5, 10, 15, 20 people every single week, because it's that easy. There are people out there that want to do ACN, that are starving to do something like ACN. They just can't wait to cross the path of someone like you. The only reason they're not in ACN right now is you have not met them and they have not met you yet. But they're outside these walls. Our job is to find those people, not turn negative people into positive people. Does that make sense, all you guys? Pay close attention to the recruiting training that you're going to hear up here, you guys. And I promise you guys are going to have great, great results. I'm so glad to be here, and I cannot wait to come back here and see a lot of you walk the stage as RVPs and hopefully eventually SVPs. Are you guys ready to do it? Yes. All right. I got to shoot someone up next, so thank you so much for your time. I really, really appreciate your time. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Regional Vice President, Mr. Domo.
Cupisz for making the long trip here to share with you guys some information. Thank you.